Please welcome to the stage, Jolenta Greenberg!
Thank you. I am one of the New York correspondents at the BBC. I'm not like the one. I'm not the one yet. Hello, you guys. I'm here to talk about my boobs. Thanks. When I was 15, I grew them overnight, which sounds cool, but isn't. I went from having roughly a mosquito bite situation to huge, giant tits, like really, really big. Like they don't make sizes for you anymore past a certain point. You know, you start getting into alphabet letters like H's and stuff, and it's a dark place to be when you're 15. It is not fun. And I also didn't really notice I was getting boobs. I finally realized they had sort of sprung up when I was at the mall with my mother, and we were walking down a mall corridor, as you do, and all of a sudden she just whips around and yells at a stranger across the corridor, "Yeah, keep walking, buddy, she can't even drive yet." And I had no idea what was happening, but my mother, she took me to the food court and she sat me down over a slice of pizza and she explained that middle-aged mall man was looking at my breasts. And basically, once your tits come in, like your body isn't yours anymore. So get used to that. You are now a coveted object and no longer a child, let alone a human, so enjoy life, honey. So that was a rude awakening. My body isn't mine anymore. And it was even harder to find clothes than I could ever imagine. Almost harder than learning my body wasn't mine was finding clothes that fit. And all I wanted as a 15-year-old in the very early 2000s was I wanted a t-shirt made by Juicy Couture that said juicy across the tits. All I wanted. But when you have really, really big boobs, you cannot wear shirts that have writing on them because it sort of looks like, instead of saying juicy, your shirt says like, or like, did the printer stop working when it was making your shirt? I don't understand. It's really, it's pointless. Also, a difficult thing once my boobs came in was a PE class. It's not fun. Not fun ever, let alone when you have giant grandma tits. Real big giant breasts are very different from fake ones. They are very heavy and they're not perky perfect circles, and when you lay on your back they turn into pancakes. They don't stand at attention. So running with those hurts in many places. So your shoulders, your back, your tit skin. It's working overtime. So that wasn't fun in PE, nor is it fun to change in front of your peers and show off how you have to wear 3 sports bras. So to remedy this problem as a young adult, I was like, I got it. Not gonna go to PE anymore. Done. And it went great. It went great for a semester and a half. And then one day my family comes home from dinner and we have a message on the machine that goes like this, beep. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Greenberg. I'm calling with some bad news. This is your daughter's school, and we regret to inform you that she has stopped physical education altogether. We understand your child's need to express herself, but there is a state law requiring a certain number of hours of physical education, or your daughter will not graduate. So that was a little come to Jesus moment for me and my parents, because they didn't know I just stopped signing up for physical education courses. And I decided I was gonna turn over a new leaf. I was gonna say, fuck it, fuck these boobs, fuck PE. I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna graduate high school, and I'm just gonna do me and not worry about these tits. So to celebrate that, I went to my favorite place to express myself at the time, which was the Gap. You know it. And I scoured the store until I found the perfect top to debut, like the new me that's gonna graduate and take a PE class. So I buy this beautiful, like pastel yellow built-in bra halter top. You know, it's the kind of halter top that's like very work appropriate. You know, it's got a high neck, really thick straps, big hefty built-in bra. Like it is good to go for school. I'm so excited. So on the day that I signed up to take racket sports, I wore my new top. And I was rocking it all day. People were complimenting the color, makes my eyes pop, thank you so much. And I'm sitting by myself at lunch in the hall, because that's where the cool kids sat, by themselves in the hall listening to music. I went to school in the woods in Oregon. So the cool thing to do was to sit by yourself in the hall and listen to music while you ate lunch, so I'm doing that. And one of my teachers walks past and he sees me and he does like a double take, and I'm like, I know, new top. And he sort of bends down and he's like, hey, Jolenta, I'm sorry, but your shirt is so inappropriate for school, you've got to cover it up. And I'm mortified. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, it's a little much. I'm put a sweater on right now. And he starts walking away. I put a sweater on. And while he's walking away, I notice he's about to walk past this girl, Molly. And Molly is basically like your perfect teen specimen. She's short, like good short, because I'm really tall. She's like 5'6", and like has a size 7 shoe, not like a size 11. And she like maybe has some really perky full B's, like on a good day, it's a full B. Like she's so cute. And she's wearing the same exact top as me, in the same color. And very important. And my teacher's walking past her, and I'm like, oh shit, like, Molly, watch out, you're gonna get in trouble. And he just walks right past her. Doesn't say a thing. That hurt. I realized that it was not my top that was inappropriate for school, but it was in fact my body making a grown man uncomfortable. So that was a real blow on my day to like be me. It backfired. And we joke about it now, but I spiraled into a deep depression. And similarly to how I dealt with PE, that's how I decided to deal with all of school. So I stopped going. Just stop going. No one can make you. Whenever I tell people I didn't go to school for a month. And whenever I tell people that, they're like, my parents would have made me. And it's like, I've been 6 feet tall and weighed like over 150 since I was like 10. Like, they cannot physically make me do things. Thank you. So I didn't go to school. One day, we get a familiar message from my school. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Greenberg. We regret to inform you that similarly to the PE problem, your daughter now has just stopped showing up to school at all. Also, similar to PE, there is a minimum requirement of days a student has to be in school. And if she doesn't come soon, we're gonna have to expel her. So I was fine with expulsion. That seemed like totally reasonable to me. My parents, not so hot on the idea. So they got desperate and they basically said, if money was no object, or if we could do anything, what would it take to get you to go back to school? And I came up with the only answer that I thought would be like, they'd be like, oh shit, we can't give her that. No school for her. So I said, I don't know, I guess I just wish my boobs were smaller. the next day, I was in a plastic surgeon's office getting a consultation for a breast reduction. And I found myself sitting across a desk from a wonderful plastic surgeon, and she took my hand in hers, and she looked at me in the eye, and she says, "I can help you." And I wasn't too sure about it, but my parents talked me into it. Which also, when I tell people this, like, my parents talked me into having a breast reduction at 16. They're like, "That's insane." And to that person, I say, "Let me finish the story, please." Like, thank you. The summer between my sophomore and junior year, I had a breast reduction. And I cannot tell you very much about the surgery because they just kept me really high the whole time. Like, that's all there is to it. Like, I remember nothing. I remember the car ride there, and that was it. I ate toast in the car on the way there, which I wasn't supposed to do. But I was hungry and a rebel. So I have the breast reduction, and I wake up, and I'm fully bandaged, and I'm connected to a bunch of tubes and drains and machines. But I can tell from the second I wake up, just the feeling on my chest it's like a weight was lifted off my chest. But seriously, it was like a lot of weight was surgically removed from my chest. It was an amazing feeling, and I looked down, and they just looked perfect, even though they were swollen and wrapped up. I was like, this is who I was supposed to be the whole time. Like, this is me. They're still very size appropriate. Like, I'm not a small girl, but I have, like, functioning, live-withable breasts now. And I felt like my body was mine again. I was no longer, a coveted object in the world or an object making men who taught me uncomfortable. I was an owner of, like, appropriately sized breasts. And I went back to school. In my senior year of high school, I had to take 3 PE classes and join the tennis team in order to graduate. But I did it. Thank you. And do you guys know what I did the second I was done with recovery? I went and bought that fucking Juicy t-shirt. And I wore it with pride because my new tits were juicy. And they were mine. Thank you.